Well, Mumbai is going into a semi-lockdown again. The civic body, Bombay Municipal Corporation, has stepped up efforts to tackle the COVID surge as the city witnesses a record addition of cases. But it's not just Mumbai, it's also Maharashtra, it's also cities like Delhi and other states that are showing an increased resurgence of COVID cases. The bar charts will come up for you. In Mumbai itself, the plan is to conduct random antigen tests at malls for those without a COVID negative report. If you have the report, of course, with you in the past 72 hours, you will be spared the testing.
BMC circular that came on Saturday, testings have started at malls. Now I'm here at Phoenix Palladium in Lower Parel, and as you can see behind me, they have started testing mall visitors. Now as of now, since there are very few visitors coming in, every single person that is walking in is being asked to get tested here. What they're doing here is the rapid antigen testing. Now as per the circular, malls need to do about 400 tests per day. So this is going to go on through the day. Now, as you can see, every visitor is asked to get tested here. And then once the RAT test is done, it takes about 5 to 10 minutes for their results to come. Meanwhile, they wait here, and then once the result comes back negative is when they leave. Now, there have also been a lot of visitors who have refused to take the test. Either they've said that they don't have the money to pay for it right now, or they don't want to get tested. They're not comfortable with it. And these visitors have been turned away and have left the mall so far.
People don't have such money like 250 or 300 bucks because you guys are charging that much money, is it? So lots of people are going back from mall.
That is also a concern that malls have raised, that they fear that footfalls will drastically reduce should people be asked to test and pay for it as well. So we will keep getting you updates. Now remember, similar tests are also being done at other crowded places, at railway stations, restaurants. However, in those places, the test will be paid for by BMC, and visitors themselves don't have to pay for it.
How is all this going to impact footfalls in malls? Rajendra Kalkar, the whole-time director at Phoenix Mills, Anjan Chatterjee, chairman and brand director at Specialty Restaurants, which has a lot of outlets in malls, and Anurag Katriyar, the president of the National Restaurant Association of India, join us to discuss the impact of the second surge, as it were. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Rajendra, first to you. Have you already seen a fall in footfalls this weekend, Saturday, Sunday?
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Lata. To be very honest, I think no. Saturday, Sunday were quite normal and busy at all the malls. They were as usual Saturday, Sundays.
Well, that's a little difficult because I have been going out every Saturday, Sunday from September. Only this Saturday, Sunday I didn't venture because I didn't want to burden my city's administration. But maybe others are thinking different. Anjan, what's the experience at the specialty restaurant outlets? Are there more order-ins rather than walk-ins?
No, I think in fact, Saturday, Sunday has not been so bad, rightly said by the gentleman. And I think that, see, people have not started it, at least in, many malls, which we are talking about, the Oberoi Mall, Malad, Infinity Mall, and also Phoenix. We saw some kind of movement of people who are from the BMC, but then this implementation is not 100% as yet. But I surely expect that there could be, it is a deterrent. I mean, as you rightly said, that you did not venture out, you thought twice. So there will be some movement but the best part is that it will not be as bad as what used to be earlier. Like, we know how to handle COVID. India has learned this. There is a medical fraternity who's knowledgeable now. There is vaccination happening. Reassurances are coming in. So it won't be until the time there is a full lockdown coming in. I think this will be fluctuating for sure, but then it will not be as bad as what we had seen earlier.
Okay, Anjan, good morning. But tell me one thing. For example, over the weekend, I ordered, from Swiggy from mainland China. At the end of the day, for companies like yours, does it actually benefit you when people don't go out and actually order in? Because at the end of the day, you save a lot of costs, and margin might be better.
See, it's a tricky balance because you've already invested on capital expenditure, and you would require this, a surge in and more footfalls for sure. But then deliveries have become a new avenue. You see, it's a balance, and I agree with you that it's much more profitable. So that's the reason we've done around, as I had said earlier, 19. Now it's become 29 of the cloud kitchens, kitchen within kitchen. So within one single kitchen, we are doing 9 of them. So it's surely cost efficient, but it's a balance of fine dine, and deliveries. But we are surely focusing going forward more on clouds. And because we have a brand, you called from mainland China because you really wanted it was your preference. So I think that preferred brands will do equally well. But it's a fine balance of both of them. It's an additional avenue for revenue.
Okay, got that. We have another gentleman, Anurag Katriyar, the president of the National Restaurants Association of India, who joins us now. Anurag, good morning. There is a long list of cities that are under lockdown and restricted movement, right? You have Nagpur, Pune, Nasik, Indore, Bhopal, Gujarat. What has the impact been on the overall the industry? And specifically in Maharashtra, what is the key takeaway so far?
Hi, good morning, everyone. So overall, yes, with the increased lockdowns and night curfews and all, there is definitely going to be an impact on the restauranting business and other retail business as well, and that has happened. But honestly, it is not as bad as we expected them to be. Certain states are behaving a little better than others, and as the gentleman Anjanda also said, delivery is another avenue which has come up. There are people who are ordering in, so it adds up to the restaurant revenue. Coming to Maharashtra, I think the impact is not yet felt too much. There is a little bit of impact in last 1 week. I can see a little reduced footfalls across the restaurants in Maharashtra over last 3-4 days. That is a sure thing. But I think going forward, I think we are getting caught too much into this, rapid antigen test and other things. End of the day, I believe it is all about exercising and observing the COVID protocols, and to ensure that it's a joint responsibility of the state, the businesses, and the consumers as well. It is everybody's responsibility to make sure that the city remains safe.
No, Anurag,
and I think
Anurag, that point is taken. I mean, what ought to happen is another discussion. At the moment, you have investors watching, and they want to know if the consumer is going back to not spending from his wallet. The stock markets and the economy runs when people are willing to spend. So at the moment, we want to restrict to that. Do you see a fall in spends? That's my point. And that's exactly what Sonia is asking you. Are you seeing a fall in spends? Because it's quite a few cities, Nagpur, Pune, Nashik, Indore, Bhopal, Gujarat, Uttarakhand, Punjab, 8 cities in Punjab.
Yeah, no, there is a definite, as I said right at the beginning of my answer, that there is a definite, downturn in the consumption in last 1 week ever since these restrictions have come. I mean, I'm not denying that, but it is not very, very significant right now. And some of the in-resto consumption has moved to the delivery platforms.
What about you, Mr. Rajendra Kalkar? It's the same thing. It's not just Mumbai, right? You said over the weekend you didn't see any change in the behavior in Mumbai. But some of these cities have been having night curfews or lockdowns for some time now. Do you have malls in Nagpur, in Pune, in Nashik, Indore, Bhopal, and those 8 cities in Punjab, Ludhiana, Patiala, Jalandhar? Any of these places you have malls where the lockdowns are older?
In Pune, but the Pune city has been under late night curfews, but fortunately for us, the day business has been quite good. Customers have been still coming, and as luck would have it, I would say, fortunately, Phoenix malls in Pune, which is there, is doing pretty well right now.
Okay.
No, so we haven't felt so much of an impact. Certain categories may have felt the impact, especially what Anjanda and Anurag are saying, that because of the night curfews, the F&B suffers after 10 o'clock. That impact definitely is there, but otherwise we have not felt the impact in Pune so far.
Okay. Now coming back to Mumbai, Rajendra, for example, is this a new reality that's dawned upon, say, companies like Phoenix Mills? Parking, for example, earlier it used to be per hour? I mean, I remember, if I go there for a movie and then, dining out and all, I'll spend almost 250, 300 rupees on parking alone. You made it flat fee of 100 rupees now. Is that just temporary, or is that going to be the new strategy now?
I would say that is more maybe a temporary phase. We were trying to experiment on the contactless payments. That's a good idea to implement and start doing it. Most likely, we would be looking at going back as things get normal. Even the parking tariffs would get normal.
Okay. But that would mean, Mr. Kalkar, that a considerable amount of income is getting lost on several quarters, right? How would you compare your revenues in the quarter is almost over. How would you compare it with Q2? Or rather, sorry, Q3?
The parking revenue or some other?
No, overall revenue.
Overall, I would say the Diwali, the Christmas, the end of the season have really brought in superb incomes for all the malls, I would say, across all good malls across the country have done pretty well. Up to, I would say, even up to Valentine period, the shopping spree was still on. I would reckon that Q4 of this financial year has been equally good as compared to Q3. Obviously, Q3 always has a bent because of Diwali and Christmas, but relatively as compared to last year financials, I would say it is quite good. It is nothing discouraging. It is a very, very positive scenario. When I say positive, I'm talking relative. When I say positive, I'm talking relative. I will not say it is better than the last year. It is quite close to the last year, I would say.
Okay. Okay, it's quite close to last year. What about rentals from tenants? Because, that was the other big issue that we faced in the first wave, right? There were a lot of delays in payments, the rent renegotiations were happening. What is the situation as of now?
So you must realize Phoenix is a very large mall operator in the country. Our relationships with all the retailers are at multiple locations across multiple cities. As much as we need them, they also need them. Our relationships have been strong, and I don't see any challenge of any rentals with most of the retailers.
No, Mr. Kalkar, I think what Sonia is asking you is, have you had to renegotiate them even further now? Even in the fourth quarter, are people in Pune or some other malls requesting you to either bring down the rentals or defer them, spread them out?
So you're aware that most of the decisions were taken till the financial year end. So there was no renegotiation required for the quarter 4.
Okay. But when will you go back to the old rents? Unlikely anytime soon?
From 1st April.
Oh, you stand by that? You don't expect people to come and request a further quarter because of this unexpected increase, I mean?
See, I would like to beg to differ on the entire thought process. I personally believe that I think now the situation is to build business with caution and not instill fear. It is to instill confidence. So I think the fear mongering has to go out and confidence building and business continues to come in. I think the government has also realized this. The government is taking the right steps to ensure that business continuity and confidence is built rather than fear.
No, Mr. Kalkar, we don't need any person to to give us confidence. So when you see the numbers going down, we were all going out, but the fear returns when you see the COVID numbers increasing. Anjan, you want to add anything? This is not really media-driven or bureaucracy-driven or anything. Yeah. It's just the way consumers behave. You want to add anything to the consumer behavior?
Yeah, you see, it's not connected to the rental. That is a separate discussion, which everybody has to consider that we are in a business relationship, because if there is any fluctuation, but then you're absolutely right that there's a psychological barrier. And in spite of the fact that we may say that we have to instill confidence, it is not a vaccination process that you overnight do something and things happen. Even vaccinated people are not very safe as yet. So there is a huge psychological barrier, and this kind of a COVID, resurgence and coming off this, revival, the second wave coming in, surely will impact business. There is no doubt about it. And, Mr. Kalkar also has to, understand that once things go back to normal, it's fine, we can pay them. But I would request everybody here, all the real estate owners on this platform, who are listening to me that they have to sit down again for us if the business goes down, which is likely to go down.
Gentlemen, hold on. We need to take a break. We have lots more questions for the three of you. We are back in a jiffy.
Mr. Chatterjee, I wanted your thoughts on whether strategically you have made any changes to your business plan. A lot of restaurants I know had taken strategic calls to shut down their dine-ins, to cut costs over there and increase their delivery kitchens or cloud kitchens. Have you done the same? Any change in plan? And now with the second wave coming through, what would the strategy be?
We knew that this was coming and this is going to be unpredictable because what is happening in the world, we learned from there. And we have already put in, some of the restaurants which were not performing well, which were on the fence, we've shut them down. We've increased the number of within kitchens. That's the cloud kitchen, dark kitchens and cloud kitchens. And we were prepared for this kind of earlier on, we were caught unaware, but we are quite prepared. We are ready. Delivery, logistics, discussion with the partners, and in terms of making it more efficient has already been done. So as we talked, we have 29 of these kitchens which are operating, and we knew that this kind of a wave can come back, and we are fully prepared. And I think that in terms of the bottom lines which we were getting earlier on by paying rentals in the fine dine has been balanced very well. So we were fully prepared. We got ourselves ready. People are ready, and I think that we are ready for a long haul. Okay,
that's good to hear. Now everybody can't be like specialty restaurant because you'll have some inherent strengths of brand and the variety you cater to. Anurag, that's the question to you. I mean, in the first round when the lockdowns happened and we got caught, there were a lot of restaurants, Udupi restaurants, for instance, smaller restaurants, which actually closed down. I'm seeing most of them open, at least in my locality. Would you fear about casualties or no?
No, the specter of casualty is very real and it is going to remain. See, and you have to understand the reason for it. The entry-level barrier into this trade is very, very low. Anybody with little money and, a chef as a friend opens up a restaurant without realizing the stark realities of the economics behind running a restaurant. So the maximum casualty that we saw even in phase one were around the restaurateurs were not very serious. They were new restaurateurs. And this pressure is going to continue on people who are reopening now in little varied formats. Coming back to even larger companies, like Anjanda was saying, we had to relook at our restaurant business. We had to shut down a few which were not very profitable. We had to retool ourselves. But I think the key to survival right now is to bringing down the cost. There is only so much you can do vis-a-vis revenue. So if that is the new reality, then you need to really recalibrate your expenses according to the expected revenues. That's the way to go. But yeah, the specter of restaurants shutting down is very real and will continue for some more time. And this second wave has actually worsened the problem for lots of smaller restaurants.
You know what, Anurag, while we discuss that, whether new business models are evolving, let's also spare a thought for the waiters community, right? That would be the worst hit because, for them, tips and all used to be the major source of income. So restaurants may find a different avenue, but what about waiters community and, the help community? Any thoughts on that?
No, I mean, honestly, that is one of the worst problems or worst outcomes of this pandemic, the human problem. You have to understand, being one of the largest employers of human capital in India, we obviously, we were employing 7.3 million people directly. So now with businesses coming down, business hours coming down, volumes coming down, there have been job losses as well. And people are now working with lesser number of people. So this is the unfortunate part. We as NREI, we have done whatever little we could do to help lend them support, whether by giving them, free ration kits or giving them some cash transfers, or even talking to other e-commerce players to get them absorbed, where, e-commerce is doing pretty well with the pandemic. We have done whatever we could do, but, this is absolutely the saddest part of this pandemic, the human trouble. People at the lowest echelon of the cycle, they are suffering the most.
Yeah.
That's the most unfortunate.
Yeah,
part.
I guess the migrant problem reflected that. A final question to you, Rajendra Kalkar. Have you at all seen any small rise in people wanting to just wind up in your malls?
Wind down in the sense for the evenings?
No. I meant just close business, hand it over to someone else. The kind we saw in the first wave.
No.
Okay.
Lata, second wave is hardly 10-15 days old.
That's
actually.
right.
Too early to actually gauge if there is any impact of that.
All right. No,
Too early.
I agree with you. And certainly to take a large decision like to move out of business, it is
Correct.
too early. And we do hope that it will not come to it because vaccinations.
In fact, Lata, I would like to tell you that, the hidden advantage, everybody is saying that people are going to be tested at the malls at the entry. Actually, the notification is completely different. You don't have to have your RT-PCR test with you. You don't have to have your rapid antigen test with you. It is going to be a genuine random testing of some 400 customers in a day. I don't think the customer should be feeling afraid to come to the mall because there's a random test.
No.
And it is not only malls. It's not that the malls have been left out. All crowded places are going to be tested. So anybody who's walking down on a station or in a market also will be randomly tested. So the fear, I think the government is trying to bring caution. We are trying to convert it into fear. That is what we would like to convey, that, we should not get afraid. We should take this in the stride and support the government and move forward. And business is as usual, I think, right now in markets and malls.
Oh, that's a bit of a tall statement, Rajendra Kalkar. It may not be as usual, but we hope it will come back to as usual very soon. Because
usual, I'm
as
saying
the
what it was 20. Yeah, I'm saying as usual means what it was, say, 1 month ago. I'm not saying what it was 1 year ago.
Fair point. I mean, we're all hoping that. And one big positive. Yes, Anjan. You're saying something, Anjan.
I said that till then, keep on ordering and, support the industry.
Yes, we all want normalcy, Anjan. In the last 6 months, I have been to Sigri, barbecue, Asian kitchens, all of them. But this weekend, I didn't venture out. So one hopes, of course, normalcy will end very quickly. Rajendra Kalkar, Anjan Chatterjee and Anurag Katriyar, thank you very much for joining us in this chat.
Brought to you by